Bill Fitch and the Boston Celtics huddled now, and there's Fitch's assistant coach, K.C. Jones. And of course, how will the coaches handle this game today?
Well, Bill, there's been a lot of speculation that down the road this could be the championship series, L.A. and Boston.
Well, I think that's speculation right now. Halftime, you can't tell. Until somebody proves they can take it away from Seattle, it's still theirs, and I think there's about 7 clubs that can do it, Rod.
How about the turnaround of the Celtics this year? Would you credit Larry Bird?
I give him a lot of credit. Dave Collins, Tiny Archibald, our whole ball club has really contributed.
How about the coaching? They made a change there, too.
Well, we're good enough we can win in spite of the coaching.
That coaching has been superb. And over in the Los Angeles Inn, Paul Westhead forced in after that injury suffered by McKinney. He spoke to Hot Rod.
Coach, this Boston basketball club is a good one, and when they were out in Los Angeles, you put them on them, but they have lost only 1 game at home this season. How about the game this afternoon?
Well, you know, we have great respect for Boston out on the West Coast. All we've heard was the Celtics, and we really think they're truly a great basketball team. And we're just hopeful we're going to come in and, you know, kind of keep the pride of the West going and just play very good ball and make a great game out of it, and hopefully, you know, come out and win it.
Maybe come up with a little magic. And speaking of magic, how is the young man for today's game?
Well, he's still a little sore, and he's having trouble practicing and working out with us. He's such a great competitor that there's no way we're going to keep him down, and I think he's going to get in the game and get on this hardwood and just go like there's nothing wrong.
Good luck today.
Thanks.
2 of the premier teams in the NBA. The Celtics with the best record at 32-10, a game ahead of Philadelphia, but Los Angeles with the 4th best record in the NBA. And the officials, 2 good ones today. Jack Madden, number 14, and Ed Rush, number 4. Jack will throw the ball up, and we'll be underway as the Celtics are huddled around Fitch and K.C. Jones. Yesterday at practice, Bill Fitch had a tape recorder, and he played the radio broadcast of the Lakers game the night before against the Detroit Pistons. It was a long practice, but it was rather lighthearted as he tried to loosen the ball club up. The Lakers, of course, arrived in here from Detroit, where they played before 28,000 people on Friday night inside the Silverdome, many of whom, of course, were there because of the return of Magic Johnson, who a year ago helped Michigan State capture an NCAA championship over Larry Bird and Indiana State. I think I have looked forward to this confrontation ever since that night. And let's hope that Magic can play and play well despite that painful groin injury. He took a real shot. He tried to play afterwards. I was scouting the game on tape, and then he was forced to leave the game. The Lakers control it. They're in their traveling maroon trim now in the gold as they come down. Norm Nixon's number 10. Spencer Haywood is number 31. Nixon goes into Abdul-Jabbar with that sky hook. The one play they will try to take away from Kareem is that hook, but not that time.
Dave really backed off, Brent. That surprised me. Normally, he'll make him turn and take the jump shot. He let him turn for the hook shot.
Bird. Nixon quickly. Maxwell touched it. Cowens controlled. And here comes the man who will run the Celtic attack. Tiny Archibald.
That's a good matchup. Archibald and Nixon both run their clubs well. They're way up there in assists.
Cowens out high. Bird negotiates the corner over his head to Cowens. Missed the shot, but how about that pass?
That's where he really excels. He has tremendous sight in close to that hoop.
Silk. Cowens rebound. Archibald in the middle. A sellout crowd in the Boston Garden. This has been the toughest ticket in town for weeks. On the Haywood turnover, it goes to the Celtics.
If Archibald's hitting out front, Brent, that makes Boston so much tougher because you have to play back from him because he penetrates so well. And if he hits, then you come out, and then you're really in trouble. He'll dish the ball off.
Here's Tiny. Cowens against the double team hit the open man as Nixon sloughed off.
That's 2 in a row for Archibald.
Pressure from Chris Ford.
He said he doesn't try to reach in and try and get the ball from Magic. Nobody's going to do that. Just play him good position. Don't let him drive. That's what Magic wants to do.
Kareem wanted Haywood, and another Laker turnover. Archibald's putting on a show. He drew the foul that time.
Beautiful play. Archibald with a behind-the-back dribble to get away on the start. He comes down the middle. Very dangerous man. Nixon there puts it behind his back, then reverses and drew the foul from Nixon. He almost had the field goal. 2 free throws for Archibald. He already has 2 field goals.
Red Auerbach tried to trade Tiny Archibald in the offseason, and there were no takers, which prompted Red to say to me yesterday, the best trade I made was when somebody said no to me. And he came around. When Bill Fitch became coach, he said he deserves a chance to run this ball club. And what a comeback story he has been. Lakers lead at 7-2, just underway in the first period of the Boston Garden. Jabbar inside to Haywood. Went high to the glass, and it was Bird's first rebound. And here comes Tiny again. Archibald is pressuring the Lakers, but that time he tried to do too much himself.
He had no one there to throw it off to, so at the last second he had to try a desperate shot at the basket.
Lakers have 3 men on the left side. Haywood negotiates inside, and Maxwell fouled him as Spencer came up for the shot. That, of course, is Haywood's great strength is inside.
Take a look at it again as it turned in. Maxwell went up trying to block it. Now then Dave Cowan's inside. Watch Cowan's trying to help out on the play. Now then Maxwell gets the foul at the line. Haywood, who you must block away from the boards. Spencer has played pretty well for Los Angeles, going to their ball club from the Jazz. Now he surprised a lot of people. Worked his way right into the starting lineup, replacing Big Jim Jones.
He pulls the Lakers to within 3 points. Each team with a foul apiece. Bill Fitch, of course, came to the Celtics from Cleveland with the Cavaliers. He was a setup coach. He'll run more with the Celtic team. The whistle had sounded before Cowens came up with the shot. So it is against Johnson, his first. The Celtics will take it out of bounds. 2 team fouls against the Lakers, 1 against the Celtics. Larry Bird inbounds to Archibald. Bird quickly.
And you hit it right on the money. Quickly. Shot quick. He got that shot away, and it was down in the hoop before they could blink their eyes.
The Celtics going to the muscle on Kareem, with Cowens trying to keep him out away from the basket. And they went underneath to Johnson, who missed the layup. Archibald gives it back to Ford, who comes in for the layup. They were conscious of Archibald, and he went back to Chris that time.
If you go back to the basket, Magic missed the layup. I have to think that the groin injuries bothered him a little bit. He hardly jumped on the play, and that's the reason he missed the easy shot.
Pass inside, and Wilkes in heavy traffic missed the shot, came right back with it. So after missing 2 layups, Wilkes with an offensive rebound, and that makes the score 11-6.
He stayed right after it, Brent. Even though he missed it, he kept Cowens blocked away and easily got his own rebound and went back up to the basket.
Bird feels it.
Boy, what a future, huh? Larry Bird, what a shot on that one. That's the toughest one in basketball, running at the basket without the glass, and he dropped it in like he makes them every day.
Haywood backing off the dribble, went to the one-on-one basketball. That's what they've been trying to get him out of. Archibald in the middle, and here comes Maxwell.
And it was Larry Bird's outlet pass that started a perfect fast break, and he hugs Maxwell. That's the enthusiasm of the Boston Celtics.
The Boston Celtics are back. Make no mistake about that. Miami and Minnesota will have their cheerleaders in that final. And so here with 7 minutes, 37 seconds to go in the first period, the Celtics lead the Lakers 15-6. Nixon to the penetration, went all the way to the glass, and a chance for the 3-pointer.
That basket will count, and he was fouled going in there. He pulled back and then laid it in, and it was Dave Cowens who gets the foul. You look again, down the middle. A little hesitation as Cowens went up, committed himself. Very smart play by Nixon. He'll look for that free throw to get the three-point play.
And the former Duquesne, Jim Jones, looks on. He could draw Larry Bird. The turnover intercepted by Wilkes. Back to Nixon. Here's Kareem. They could have picked up 5 quick points. Bird off of his 4th rebound. Dishes to the corner. In too far. Ford knocked it back, but right to the Lakers. Johnson to Wilkes, and there is a 5-point run by the Lakers.
That's an excellent fast break, and Bill Fitch wants a timeout. As Magic Johnson did it down the middle, led it perfectly to the right side for the layup. So he wants to stop this momentum that the Lakers have with the timeout.
And when they return this time, they'll be ahead by only 4. Bill Fitch of the Celtics working against Paul Westhead, and Westhead has just ordered the full court pressure by the Lakers, and the Celtics break it quickly. Here is Maxwell waiting now for Cowens and Archibald. Bird is 3 of 3. Ford moves to Cowens as the Celtics go to the open man.
Notice that last time on the pressure, the Lakers put Kareem Abdul-Jabbar up front to guard Bird, but they quickly got it in and beat the press without any problem.
Kareem on the turnover, went right to Bird with a bad pass. Maxwell fouled. Haywood underneath.
You'll see Bird pick up the ball here in a moment. Here it is. Here's the pass from Jar. Bird's got it. He'll hand it smartly to the middleman, Archibald. Fill the lane, and the defense went to Bird, so he smartly went left side into Maxwell for the layup try, and he was fouled. 2 free throws for Cedric Cornbread Maxwell.
Cedric is 6'8", weighs 205 pounds. He, of course, is out of the University of North Carolina at Charlotte.
Well, if you're a youngster watching this game today and a forward like Larry Bird, give that ball up when you rebound to your little man on the break, as he did on that play.
Nice to watch 2 highly touted rookies come into the league who feature passing, such as Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Unselfish athletes. Missing the shot, and again it was Bird with rebounding position. He is playing with intensity this afternoon. Larry Bird was something to prove. He felt he was put down a little bit after that earlier loss this season to the Lakers in Los Angeles.
Maxwell on that play tried to drive the baseline. Kareem did a good job of stepping in his path and forced him to turn the ball over. Lakers come back.
It's 19-11, the Celtics over the Lakers. 5 minutes and 54 seconds first period. Nixon. Lakers are getting just 1 shot on the attack. Jamal Wilkes had that 1 offensive rebound, and that was about it. Cowens tosses in a quick 2 points.
Cowens took that pass. He noticed Magic Johnson was there defensively, so he went ahead and took the shot. I think had Kareem been there, he would have passed it up.
We will see Jim Jones, and yes, he is up right now. Off the double team with the shot clock inside of 5. Magic Johnson went back with the pass and should have taken the shot.
Right you are. He knows it too. Put the hands over his head. He said, my fault.
There are 2 substitutes. There was the bad pass out of bounds.
He actually went in the air. Had someone been looking, he would have been there for an easy shot.
Magic Johnson is out, and Michael Cooper is in. Jim Jones has replaced Spencer Haywood. Magic encountering difficulty with that pulled groin. Chris Ford, 1 shot. All Lakers at the rebounding end.
Michael Cooper is defending against Larry Bird, and he will deny him the ball more than Jamal Wilkes did. And that'll make Bird have to move himself to get open more. That'll be an interesting matchup.
Tipped by Maxwell, out of bounds. Lakers. Chris Ford leading the NBA in 3-point plays. He's hit 1 in 11 straight games. It was his only field goal Friday night against Atlanta. Highlights of that game at halftime. Nixon tied up, went back to Kareem, who moves to Jones. Jimmy Jones first shot, so he contributes quickly coming off the bench. Pressure by Nixon against Archibald. It's 21-13 with 4 minutes and 29 seconds. Neither team in the penalty as far as fouls are concerned. 3 on the Lakers. Cowens Cowens outside, rattles one in, and it went long to 4. Knocked away by Kareem. The long arm of Abdul-Jabbar covers a lot of ground inside.
See how Cooper tries to front Bird, denying the basketball. Later dropping everybody back in so Cowens will come high.
7 on the shot on the runner by David.
He has a great ability, Brent, not only to hit outside. Dave Cowens enjoying a good year. He comes up with a steal.
Turnover, Cowens, and it's taken back by Cooper, who goes quickly to Kareem, moves on Cowens and rolls in the hook shot.
Cowens looks like a little kid trying to defend against that sky hook. 6'9", Dave Cowens, Kareem 7'2", and perhaps more.
Whistle away from the ball and rush underneath.
That'll be Cooper holding Larry Bird. See, Larry moves well without the ball. Let's take a look again. You watch Cooper as he tries to deny Bird the ball, holding him all the way as Larry fake right, cut left across the lane. Boston ball.
Cowens staying out high, so Jones will go to him, and Abdul-Jabbar switches underneath, so he's by that rebounding glass right there. And Chris Ford on the hustle, missed the tap in. Kareem goes to Jones across the midcourt line. Cooper goes back to Jimmy, and Jimmy's quickly 2-2 against his old coach, Bill Fitch.
He has that ability to play 2 possessions, 6'11". He can shoot well outside. That's his second bucket from 15 feet out.
Archibald against the pressure drew the foul. Jones was the second man, and he fouled him. In the penalty now.
Hey, watch Dave Cowens set the screen here. Contact right there. Now the second man is Jones coming through, reaching in for the ball, and he gets the foul. So it'll be Archibald. And the penalty for free throws.
Paul Westhead up alongside the Laker bench, and a very popular man has just checked in for Boston. He's number 30, ML Carr, with Maxwell going out and Tiny Archibald missing a free throw, with the Celtics leading the Lakers 23-17. We have 2 minutes and 59 seconds to go here in the first period. Boston 18-1 at the Garden, and there is ML Carr, formerly of Detroit, came over as a free agent, and he was one of the keys to the revival of the Celtics in the mold of John Havlicek. The big 6-man. Great play by Abdul-Jabbar, but Cooper missed the shot. The Lakers have missed about 3 layups. Here comes Carr. Drew the foul.
That's the way to go to the basket. He was fouled by Don Ford on the play. You watch Carr come left side. He saw Ford out of the corner of his eye, but realized he had to step on him, took it right to the basket, put it up with the right hand to draw the foul.
Don Ford has just checked in. He's 6'9", 215, 4th year in the NBA. And Don Chaney, number 12, is now in the backcourt for the Celtics, a longtime veteran. He's big guard, 6'5", 11th year out of Houston.
Got about a 38 shirt sleeve. He used to play college ball, of course, with Elvin Hayes, the Big E. And what games they had back at the Astrodome as a collegiate. Houston and UCLA over 50,000 for that game.
And here we have a sellout inside the Boston Garden. Their 15th sellout. And the Celtics are also drawing on the road. There's Don Ford and Don Chaney. 26-17. 2 minutes and 34 seconds. First period. Cowens working hard defensively. Picked up by Jones, and again another turnover. The Celtic defense has been the story early. ML is all alone. Nixon now running the team with Magic out. Gets inside of Archibald, but as he came around him, Tiny fouled him.
Just a quick little move to the right side, and Archibald reached in for the foul. It'll be Laker basketball.
With only 3 team fouls against the Celtics, of course, they had that one to give.
They want to go to the big guy. Watch Cowens deny him the turn for the hook. Make him take the jumper. How about that?
ML crashing inside of Kareem on the layup, coming down the left lane.
Now what a real team play he made there, just getting back defensively after he made the layup. A lot of guys would have loved back. He just turned his head down and got back in a hurry.
is in the hook, and Abdul-Jabbar now with 8 points here in the first period. Tiny goes through to Larry Bird. Knocked it back. Isn't he some passer?
Left hand that time behind the back.
Cowan. It's contagious when you're unselfish. Jones threw one up high under pressure that time.
Larry Bird, good defensive player. I think he'll surprise a lot of people in that area.
Collins will bring the defense out. He's hit 2 in a row at the perimeter. Kareem left alone. A little bit too much English. Bird on the lob to Archibald. Tiny gets inside. That's a very smart play. He knew that Kareem was left down here at the other end, and he wouldn't have to contest against the big fella.
He made a smart move, as you mentioned, Brent. He said, I could go all the way. No one could block my shot. Kareem's not here. And Archibald, with a soft touch, put it up high on the glass. He got the layup. 34-21, Boston.
Nixon, no offensive goaltending. I think it would have gone in anyway.
Sure would have. It was Cooper. It went up above the iron. A good call made by the official. Here we look again. Nixon's shot. This ball would have gone in, I believe. It's going to kick in. And right there, Cooper went up and touched it. And he realized he had made the bad play. And Bill Finch is really alive over there on the bench.
Gerald Henderson, number 43, checks into the Celtic backcourt. He's out of Virginia Commonwealth. He's 6'2", 175. He played extremely well on Friday night when I scouted the game against Atlanta. Cheney off the side as the buzzer sounds. From the Boston Garden, we have ended period 1, and the Celtics lead the Lakers. An idea of how well the Celtics have played as a unit. Larry Bird hit his first 3 field goals in this game. That was early. He has not taken a shot since. Now the assistant coaches. Casey Jones on the left, of course, the former head coach of the Washington Bullets and a longtime Celtic great. That's Pat Riley over on the right. He came down out of the broadcast booth to join Paul Westhead after Jack McKinney suffered that serious bicycle accident. We send along our best wishes to Jack, who's watching this game at his home in the Los Angeles area, and the prognosis is good. Jack McKinney is coming along. Still some doubt as to whether or not he'll return to active coaching this year, but Jack McKinney will be back. Longtime assistant of Jack Ramsey. This is his system you're watching here today, and he suffered like the rest of the Laker fans in that first period. The Celtics dominated. Jump hook taken off by Jones. Magic is back, and obviously he is slow. The Celtics are aware of it. They have been exerting pressure against Magic as soon as he gets the ball. Now Cheney quickly drops off to the double team. They go back to Magic. He was fouled.
That's a super pass there by Kareem. As soon as he cut the ball, Magic cut, and he just flipped it back. Of course, he could see people a lot easier than a lot of other players because he's so tall. He made the perfect feed there, in for the layup, and Johnson will get 2 free throws.
Earlier, I said it was a pulled groin. I want to make sure that everyone understands it is not. There is not a pulled muscle up in there. He was very badly bruised, extremely painful. He was not at full strength, obviously, against Detroit, and he is not at full strength here today, but he's extremely intelligent for a 20-year-old.
And he loves to play this game of basketball, perhaps more than any player.
Henderson, as he came around Cooper, turned it over on the travel. So it'll go to the Lakers.
You watch him go down the middle. Pressure from Cooper. Intimidation. Right there is too many steps. He fell off balance. Laker ball.
Cheney is at the ball every time Magic dribbles and comes up. Bird trying to tie up Jones. Cheney a little bit too tight on Magic. So quickly here in this period, the Celtics pick up 2 team fouls. They stayed out of the penalty for a long time in the first period. No team fouls as of yet here in the second period, of course, against the Lakers. Kareem over on the other side to screen. Now he backs off and takes the pass from Cooper.
Well, they really move when Kareem's got the ball. Everybody cuts.
He is so graceful for someone who is 7'2". He makes this game look so easy.
He's the best. There's no question. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
moves it to Henderson. Whistle down away from the ball inside.
Ford trying to front Bird, got the foul on the play.
That's the second foul on Ford, who is working hard to deny Larry the ball. Henderson on a clear out came in, and Cooper fouled him.
Very good play. He was waiting for help. They had set up a double screen to the left side. Nobody moved, so he said, I'll take it to the hoop. And went in there with authority, and Cooper reached in to get the foul.
Cooper played in the Western League a year ago, and when he came to training camp, Red Auerbach went out and watched him with Coach Bill Fitch. And after the practice, they said, why did we sign him? He's terrible. He was about 15 pounds overweight. He got the message. He's got himself into shape, and he's been a good addition. Now Paul Westhead is huddling there with Spencer Haywood, and Spencer will be checking back in for Los Angeles.
Magic looks like protects the ball well. He's hopping down the sidelines with it, with pressure. He walked.
He traveled, and it'll go to the Celtics. Here comes Jamal Wilkes and Spencer Haywood. Wilkes number 52, Haywood 31. They check back in with the Celtics leading the Lakers 36-24. We have 10 minutes and 17 seconds to go. Let me remind you about next Sunday. We'll start Super Sunday here in the Boston Garden. Seattle and the Lakers. At halftime, you'll see highlights of the defending world champion Seattle Supersonics, who will be in here to take on the Celtics, who are 18-1 at home. Someone who will be watching next Sunday, former colleague Keith Erickson, who's now working on the radio side. When Pat Riley came to the bench, Erickson joined the Laker broadcast team, and he has done an excellent job with Chick Hearn. Into Collins. David maneuvers and comes up with a jumper on Spencer Haywood, and he burned him.
He would never take that shot against Kareem, and Dave's smart. He knows who's against him and what he can do, and that time he used his jumper. The Celtics in the first quarter, Brent, went 14 out of 22, 63.5% of their shots.
Haywood, and of course it is the Lakers who have led the NBA this season in field goal percentage. They did not shoot nearly as well as the Celtics here.
They were 9 for 22, only 41%.
Wilkes out on Larry Bird. Here's the redhead, cross court to Chaney. Henderson. Jones, midcourt to Cooper. Cooper's a hustler. Don't notice him, but he's very effective in spots for the Lakers. And here's the Magic Man. Spencer. And Collins with that strength underneath goes to Bird. Larry's pass to Chaney's a dandy. Put it down on goaltending as they sealed it up against the glass. Spencer Haywood on the follow. Did you like that pass?
Bird saw it way out early. Beautiful pass. Looked left, bounced it right, and in for the layup. Goaltending called on the play. Boy, he's done everything. In the first quarter, Bird had 5 rebounds along with 3 for 3 from the field.
Wilkes. Inside muscle that time by young Cooper. Good rebounder for a guard.
This one will surprise you, using Henderson and Chaney at the guards, and Coach Bill Fitch going to that combination early. Neither of these two players are scorers, yet they've made that move.
7 on the shot clock. They go back to Bird, who came around the corner.
Well, M.L. Carr is like Larry Bird as far as making a pass. He could see the open man, spotted Bird perfectly.
Cooper came inside. Magic did not double check and threw the ball out of bounds. And both teams go back to the bench. Now Maxwell has checked in, but so has Rick Roby. Roby is indeed on the floor. Westhead and Riley have some coaching to do, and there's Rick out of Kentucky. He was awesome after he replaced Dave Cowens Friday night. You'll see the fight between Cowens and Tree Rollins at halftime.
Roby had 22 points and 10 rebounds against Atlanta.
Swatted away by Haywood. Nixon goes quickly to Magic. Magic goes back to Cooper. That play could pick the Lakers up. Cars run off it by Magic. Here they come.
Cooper's turning
Cooper went into the crowd. He may be injured. Jamal Wilkes. Rebound taken off by Chaney. Cooper is still out of action. He is beyond the glass backboard. It's 5 on 4, and it was a block by Haywood, who's blocked 2 get you the best seat in the house.
Jack Curran, the trainer, is already over there. I think he's going to be all right. A couple of the fans who were very good sports about it caught him and tried to cushion his fall into the crowd. So Jack Curran's going to help.
He may have cut himself on the left side of the face. That towel is being held. Curran rushed over to him right away. The rest of the Lakers were unaware that Cooper had been injured. They came down for a full play when they should have gone to the timeout immediately. But the crowd was so loud, they didn't realize they were without him, and that's why we didn't stop.
Brett, they could get a 20-second injury timeout there, and if they had taken it, but they did not, as you surmised, realize that he was hurt and had disappeared actually from the playing surface. Well, he made the big defensive play. The Lakers got a field goal, then he came back and stopped Carr with that great save, and that's a kind of a play you've got to make in order to get back. Get that offense, come back, make a super defensive play. Well, hopefully he'll be all right.
So young Michael Cooper being tended to, and Norm Nixon will work in the backcourt with Magic Johnson. Wilkes and Haywood and Abdul-Jabbar are up front, and it looks like it is up around that left eye. Nixon at the free throw line. We have 7 minutes and 33 seconds left here in the first half of the Boston Garden, and the Celtics lead the Lakers 42-31. The Lakers can cut it underneath 10. That, of course, is one psychological barrier that you always try to pass through in the NBA. And there it is. Maybe. This time, and he was fouled.
Boy, he is so big. This shows you how easy it is for him to go and get the ball. He just reached up. He didn't even have to jump on the play. Philadelphia. And New York, it's 50-35, Philadelphia in the second quarter. Kareem will look for the three-point play. He missed the easy one on the first try, but stayed right in, grabbed it, went back up. And Milwaukee leads Houston 47-36, second period.
We will have highlights of Milwaukee and Philadelphia coming up at halftime. Some of the key games they played this week. Henderson bringing it down. Now on the floor for the Celts, Cheney and Henderson, Roby, Maxwell, and Carr.
Well, he walked there, got away with it, Cheney. He got a little run.
Henderson went away from the Carr screen and hit the little jumper.
Looked like he shot that one right through the hand of Spencer Haywood, who almost blocked it. You see how Roby's fronting Kareem. He's got to get weak side help. Maxwell was there.
Haywood. Bad shot. Spencer is off his game. Wilkes misses. Kareem getting rebounding position, and he was assessed with the personal. Loose ball foul.
That'll go against Kareem as he tried to go over the top. Was blocked out on the play. Boston 44, Los Angeles 33.
And the Phoenix Open, just part of Super Sunday on CBS. We'll start right here in the Boston Garden. Seattle against the Celtics, then the Phoenix Open. Then we'll take you out to Pasadena for the Super Bowl. The Pittsburgh Steelers against the Los Angeles Rams. Now we've got a couple other scores. There's our situation. Portland ahead of Washington. The Trailblazers doing well. They go inside to Maxwell.
Boston 46, LA 33.
Abdul-Jabbar goes back now to Wilkes, who comes in underneath.
Jamal Wilkes on a good play there, Brett. Moving well without the ball. Take a look again. They dropped the pass into Kareem. An excellent feeder for a big man. Bounce pass. Great lead right to Jamal Wilkes. In for the layup. It counts. And he was fouled on the play.
Wilkes at the free throw line, and the Celtics are in the penalty. They're in the penalty. And he does not need it.
Detroit leading Chicago by 5. They're in the second quarter, Brent.
One of the troubled teams in the NBA, along with the Golden State Warriors. They have not played well this year, either of those clubs.
And speaking of Detroit, they gave a first-round pick to Boston. Boston next year for Bob McAdoo. You think the Celtics will be tough if there's somebody out there that can play.
The lob to Kareem. Misses. And they tie each other up underneath, so we'll have a jump ball.
Here's Kareem's sky hook. And on the rebound play, you'll see Maxwell along with Haywood doing a good job fighting for the ball. And they'll jump at the offensive line for the LA Lakers.
It'll go out of bounds. Ed Rush looking over to Jack so they can sync up the call on this play.
The LA
and
ball.
It's going to go to the Lakers. Wilkes was going to take it out of bounds, and now it'll be Haywood. Goes right to Kareem, and he is short.
Well, he missed an easy one there.
Here comes ML Carr. Henderson missed that time. It is 48-36. Celtics ahead of the Lakers. Nixon under pressure at the perimeter. Maxwell had an open man and could not spot Henderson. Henderson broke free. Haywood taps it away, and Kareem did not come down, and he'll hit the easy field goal.
Gerald Henderson came back and had second thoughts about trying to stop the big guy. Just ran right on by him. Perfect feed down court. Abdul-Jabbar is there. Watch him look at the little guy and then put it down.
14 points for Abdul-Jabbar in the first half. Back to 10 at the 5-minute mark of the first half. Shot clock is inside of 10 seconds. Now 4. With 3 seconds, Carr came in and drew the foul from Wilkes, and he'll shoot a pair.
That time he should have let him go because Kareem was there. You look again. Wilkes reached in there. Abdul-Jabbar would have blocked that shot and Wilkes let him go because he was beaten by a step on the play.
Archibald and Chris Ford now in Bill Fitch's backcourt. And ML Carr.
I think you would have to give this young man as much credit, perhaps, as Larry Bird on the inspired play of Dave Cowens, the return of Archibald. Give Carr credit. He has helped.
First thing they had to do was to get a coach. That was the biggest decision that Red Auerbach had to make. He offered the job to Bobby Knight at Indiana. Knight turned him down. Knight and Auerbach are longtime friends. Then Bill Fitch became available. Interestingly enough, Fitch was sitting at the table when Knight was offered the job. Then Fitch got free at Cleveland. He called Auerbach and said he could negotiate. And Bill Fitch has brought some discipline to Boston. Haywood muscling a miss, stays right with it, comes back the second time.
Said earlier, Brent, you got to block Spencer off the boards. Great second effort. He missed the first, went right back after it. And the Lakers are down by 8.
The crowd is not only urging on the Celtics, but they're applauding the return of Larry Bird and Dave Cowens, both of whom are up and will be back in the game. Roby.
Yeah, Rush made a move like that was a good block. Abdul-Jabbar got a hand on the ball, but Roby still got it. Cowens and Bird will be back in a moment.
Roby working hard against Kareem. And a whistle underneath. Offensive foul. You know, that's a situation where they caught the second move. Roby was pushing hard inside right here. Do you see his right arm? Now watch Kareem come back. Jack Madden happened to look at the second act, as so often happens in the NBA.
Kareem very unhappy with the call.
Now the return of Larry Bird brings back a shooter who is 4 of 4, 3 of them early. 3 minutes and 45 seconds first half. And here comes the Birdman. He is now 5 of 5.
I asked Bill Fitch before the game, look, can this young man really play? He said, if I had to compare him to a player in the NBA, I think of Dave DeBusschere, the old Knick. That's quite a compliment. He said he can play both ends. Good defensive player.
And look at him go after the loose ball.
Here's a beautiful shot. What a touch this young man has. Baseline left, raised for the jumper, and he's got it.
Don't see too many instant millionaires crash into the stands after loose balls, do you? Chris Ford.
Not unless some of their money's up there.
Here comes Tiny inside. Cowens.
There he threaded the needle. Archibald, perfect feed. And the Lakers are going to take a timeout, and the fans in Boston, a sellout, they love it. Archibald brought it right down. I made a perfect feed as Cowens was right under the hoop.
Paul Westhead was the former at Carlos, if you're looking for an offensive difference in this game, of course, it is the fact that Magic Johnson has not yet scored, and he came into this contest averaging better than 19 points a game. And because of that injury, he is on the bench. And meanwhile, Larry Bird is 5 of 5 for the Celtics. And here comes Norm Nixon for the Lakers.
Oh, he put that baby up high. Nice move by the little 6'2" guard out of Duquesne. Well, Bird 5 for 5. Cowens has made 7 out of 10, Brent.
Cowens moves it over to Bird, and it was deflected. Wilkes goes back, and it is off of Maxwell, and he sent it to Nixon. Nixon leads, and there's Cooper, who was in behind the defense. An error by the Celtic defense, and Bill Fitch unhappy.
Gotta be. They turned it over, and no one got back defensively. Cowens tried, but Cooper had him beaten. Cowens just ran under him and got him with the shoulder as Cooper was coming down.
One of the things about Bill Fitch, he has been remarkably honest about the performance of his players here in Boston. I was talking to Jack Craig of the Boston Globe this morning at breakfast, and he said that Fitch is not afraid to criticize his ball players if they do not perform well. That's refreshing, isn't it? Bird sends it back now to Archibald.
Jamal Wilkes back with Bird defensively.
They move it to Maxwell, and they send it back to Tiny.
They got a mismatch down there with Bird and Nixon.
Chris Ford.
He hasn't popped one out there yet, Brent, that three-point try.
There is a play for every member of the Celtics to attempt a three-pointer. Nixon spins inside. Larry lobs it to Ford. What a pretty pass on the block by Cooper.
Sensational play at both ends.
Here is Nixon quickly back now for Los Angeles to Kareem. The sky hook. Tap back, no good, off glass. Here's Tiny. Bird's got an open man. It's Ford. Ford sends it back to Cornbread. Across the Bird. Here's Archibald. And the only open man, Cowens. And he didn't come into the picture until late.
Well, that's great team play.
Here they come. Blocked by Kareem with 7 seconds. Nixon to Wilkes. And the Lakers pull to within 9.
Well, it's a great pro basketball. Super play. Great effort by both clubs. The fans don't like it, but those were good blocks. All the Lakers are standing on their bench and cheering their teammates on.
1:25 to go. We're only in the first half. And you know the NBA features the best endings in all of sport. Ford dishes off to Bird. Right baseline. Ronald's in 6 of 6.
He is not human, I'm not sure. He hasn't missed. 12 points. He has yet to get a free throw, Larry Bird. But he has not been driving. His shots have been outside. No one to foul him.
Kareem, the high point man, went to the left hand. Tapped up by Wilkes. Finally, the Celtics control. Inside of a minute in the first half. Archibald waits, and here's Cowens down the lane. Lost control of the dribble. But it was picked up by Maxwell. Westhead wanted a turnover on that play. It's 60-47. Celtics with a break in 33 seconds.
That was a big play there because it looked as if Cowens had lost control and could have been a turnover. And they get a basket. And Westhead visibly upset. You can't blame him.
Inside to Kareem for an easy layup.
Boy, he knows how, when a man fronts him, he knows how to get that pass over the top and then release. He holds the defensive man away on the high line and then rolls right to the basket for the layup.
Celtics for the last shot. Tiny knew he was going to draw the foul. I think that's what he was doing. Following up, he was a bit awkward on the play.
Ran a penalty, Brent, and Archibald will have 3 to make 2. Nixon got the foul. Archibald ran the clock to 4 seconds. That's pretty good timing. So Don Chaney comes in. ML Carr, Bird will go out.
Tiny Archibald is a very close second to Michael Richardson of the Knicks in assists per game. He's been in double figures in assists 13 times this season, and Tiny is averaging 9 a game. And he runs the Celtics with a great deal of confidence as Larry Bird sits down for the last 4 seconds here of the first half. And again at halftime, you'll see that fight that broke out between Dave Cowens and Tree Rollins Friday night. We'll also have highlights from the key games of last week. We'll take a look at the standings. That's all coming up now at halftime. And Magic rather quietly watching now. Not able to perform at 100%. Cooper at the buzzer, the three-pointer. No, was he inside? I thought for sure he had the three-pointer.
Jack Madden quickly looked up and said only 2. We'll look at it
so scored 2 instead of 3. Halftime, it's 62-51. Celtics over the Lakers.
Great half.
It would no longer be fair to bill this as a confrontation strictly between Larry Bird, who was 6 of 6 in the first half, and Magic Johnson, who was 0 of 1, simply because Magic obviously is not at full strength because of that groin injury, which he suffered in a game in Washington the other night. Johnson's only point coming off a free throw. The difference, field goal shooting, because the Boston Celtics were able to come away with only 2 offensive rebounds, but then there weren't too many to be had. They hit 63% from the floor.
Well, along with Bird off the boards, it was Cowens. They each had 6 rebounds. Both clubs were 21. And the hot shooting Celtics were 26 out of 41, 63%. Cowens hit for 7 of 10. Archibald was 3 out of 4 to join Bird 6 for 6. And Maxwell up front, starting at a forward, made 3 of 5.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar leads the Los Angeles Lakers out. Kareem is now 32 years old. And it just seems like yesterday when he was leading John Wooden and the UCLA Bruins to all of those NCAA championships. But here he is, still the premier center, 10 years in the NBA, 7'2", 235 pounds, and he's got to dig in now to bring the Lakers back.
He had 8 out of 16 in the first half, and just recently went over 23,000 career points. That's Abdul-Jabbar. Third quarter underway.
Cedric Maxwell sliding inside of the big fella, and it was blocked.
It was blocked by Haywood, but Cooper gets the foul. Haywood made a clean block. 3 fouls on Cooper. We'll look at it again. Cornbread to the hoop. You watch Haywood come over the top right here, make a perfect block. It was actually Haywood that knocked him down, but they point at Cooper and give him the foul.
Maxwell was shaken up. One of the differences in this Celtic team is that players will come out here with the little hurts. You came into Boston the last couple of years and you'd see more athletes in the trainer's room staying away from action than you would out on the floor.
Play back in their old championship days, though, they all were taped up when they came to play.
Nixon gives it to Jamal. Cowens fronting Kareem over on the strong side. Haywood and Cooper are away from the ball as Magic does not even start the second half. Haywood, short jump shot is off, and Larry Bird rebounds. Archibald's lead on the break to Maxwell to Ford. Simply blew the layup. What a pretty play.
The foul's going to go against the Lakers. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the rebound play. That's correct. We'll take a look at it again.
Fouls on Kareem.
Here's the pass from Maxwell to Ford. He'll miss now when Chris goes back up to tip it. Watch Kareem now enter the picture, and he commits the foul coming over the top of Maxwell.
Ford just outside the three-point line, went into Cowens. Cowens maneuvering on Cooper.
That's a beautiful shot. A jump hook with the left hand. Dave Cowens
Extends the Celtics lead to 65-51. Just underway in the third period.
Kareem is mad. You can tell the way he moved. He's definitely upset. He didn't like that last foul they called on him. So bring that ball in here. I'm going to go to work.
Norm Nixon, Abdul-Jabbar, and Jamal Wilkes now will run this Laker team with Magic not out there.
Now you watch Cooper fronting Bird.
Cowens off, and Haywood battling for a rebound. Went out of bounds, and the Celtics were there. It'll go back to the Celtics. Spencer will not talk Jack Madden out of that basketball.
Well, actually, Nixon got a handle and knocked it right into Haywood through his legs and out of bounds.
Tiny comes around the top and goes to Ford. Kareem is out on Maxwell. Cooper working away on Bird, and from behind the Bird screen jumped forward. 7 on the shot. Now 5.
Almost in three-point range. Ford has yet to try one. You know, in 1 year he made 46 so far. The Laker team has attempted only 47.
No one opposed the three-point play any more than Red Auerbach. No one takes more advantage of it than the Boston Celtics. Jump pass knocked away by Ford, who got a hand on it before Cooper could receive it. Lakers will work the inbounds pass, and we've got a could receive it. Lakers will work the inbounds pass, and we've got a timeout here in Boston. So the Boston Celtics, with the best record in the NBA, ahead of the Philadelphia Philadelphia 76ers by a game in the Atlantic are ahead here by 14. So Paul Westhead and Bill Fitch have concluded their timeout conversation with their players. There's a difference between these two teams defensively. If the magic number in the NBA is 100, the Celtics have held opposition under 118 times, and the Lakers but 7 times. And the Lakers have won 6 of those 7 games, too, when the defense did the job for them. Spencer Haywood takes the inbounds pass deep, negotiates, and lost it with 4. Coming in on the other side, here's Archibald in the middle, goes right back to Chris. One shot for the Celtics. Kareem to Cooper. Cooper trying to save it. Could not as he went out of bounds, and then he threw the ball to the other side.
Gonna grab it with one hand. Had he put both hands on the ball, I think he could have made a save. Kareem led him a little bit too far. Right here, one hand. Never attempted to put the left hand on the ball, and he threw it away as he tried to bring it back on the court. Boston has it on the turnover. First half, each team committed 11 turnovers. In the first half were 11 points.
Archibald coming around Maxwell, and Kareem jumped out on him. The biggest man against the littlest. Collins as the shot clock goes off. And Archibald with a fresh 24. Ford holds it up, and they go into a set play. This is Fitch's set offense. Archibald around the horn, was tied up, loose, and it rolls out off of Haywood's foot.
Archibald got in traffic there. He wanted to pass. No one was around. Haywood had him covered like a blanket and knocked the ball down as they fought for the loose ball inbound to Boston.
Archibald. Cooper. Nixon leads to Jamal. Smooth.
Smooth as silk. He saw his spot, pulled up and hit the jumper. Had he gone all the way, I think Birdman picked up on him.
Archibald coming inside Norm Nixon. And as he made the run on the basket, Nixon fouled it.
Take a look at it again. Tiny, who penetrates as well as any guard. Fake left, went right. Nixon bumped him with the body there to get the foul, and Archibald went on to follow through with a shot.
You can see there the experience of Archibald. He caught Nixon pointing over to the right-hand side to beware over there, and quickly Archibald attacked away from that. He knew his body was leaning in that direction. Here's Ford now out at the top. 8:25 to go, third period.
They always expect him to go left, being left-handed. Here's Ford, his first three-pointer. Nope.
Larry Bird with a fake on Haywood, and foul is called. No basket. The outside official, Jack Madden, picked it up. He looked in on Rush, and the crowd picked up the tempo. Now here's the foul. It was an obvious one and a good play by Bird.
Right there, it was Haywood who got the foul before the shot. No basket. Boston's ball.
4 team fouls against the Lakers and none against the Celtics here in the third period. Cowens on the running hook. Tapped in by Maxwell. No. Offensive goaltending up on the cylinder. No basket for Boston.
Boy, that one was a close one. Maxwell slapped it in coming from that baseline left side. Bill Fitch thought it should have counted. Right up high, and he tipped it. I thought it might have been good. But take it away. Referees have a better view of it. Watch big Dave Cowens. He's in there fronting Jabbar again. He does not want to let that ball go in low.
And there is a whistle inside. Ed Rush underneath. Maxwell. And the inbounds from Jamal goes to Norm Nixon. Wilkes came behind that screen. Followed up the shot. Was not sealed off.
Fine play. They never blocked him off after he missed a shot. And he went right back Cowens for the rebound for the layup.
Archibald throws it out of bounds, and on that sloppy pass, it'll be turned over to the Lakers, and the Lakers are within 10, and now the Boston Celtics send in Jeff Judkins. He's out of Utah. Been in the league a year. He's 6'6", 185. This is the first time we have seen Jeff in the game. And Philadelphia staying right on the heels of Boston. So a win here is all important for the Celtics. Turn around, Kareem at the base. Got the roll, and now it is 67-59. 7:08, third period, and the big man is bringing him back.
Cowens played him as well as he could on that play, forced him to the turn for the jump shot left, and he still got the field goal. Kareem keeping the Lakers right in there.
With a total of 20 points. Judkins deflected by Cooper. Cooper tries to save it, stepped out of bounds, and Madden caught it perfectly. No doubt about it. But it was still a good defensive move, and Bill Finch is going to want to talk to the Celtics, and he is unhappy.
Oh, he didn't step out. It didn't look like it, but he called it. Boy, that was a hairline play.
Jack Madden and I have outvoted Hot Rod Hundley and Tony Verna, the director, on that call. We have more authority. Here's Archibald. Collins pops out now. Moves to the right and tosses one up on the glass, and not a good effort.
That's a legitimate running one-hander. He never even jumped. Just ran in and pitched it up.
That's a shot you go to with time running out. Here's Jones. Wilkes. Larry Bird seals him up. Nixon comes down the baseline. They'll keep it now with 6 minutes and 21 seconds to go here in the third period. It is now 67-59. What a good fight that may be. A roll by Kareem. And as he came through,
Collins is called for the foul on that play. No basket. All right.
Here's Wilkes on the inbounds. The dish back to Nixon now.
It's 1 against 10.
Here goes Kareem. Sky from the right baseline. The sky. Whoa, this is going to be a dandy. You know what the last 5 minutes is always like in the NBA? It's how we get there that's important. Archibald coming around. Collins couldn't run Nixon off. Jeff Judkins and Cooper blocked it. Out of bounds, it's going over.
Lakers really have momentum here now. Cooper has been a gem defensively throughout this game. He's made several saves, and he's blocked a couple of shots. Got a hand on that jumper by Jeff Judkins.
Archibald watching Nixon. We've got a 6-point game. Kareem can make it 4, and Larry Bird came over and blocked it. No foul. Archibald back. There's the layup. Battled by Judkins. Taken down by the Lakers. We'll hold that block. We'll show you that block. We're going to keep it now on our instant replay bank. Cross court out of Jones. Jones up outside.
Here's the block a moment ago. Collins had fronted him. Bird came over and blocked the hook try. Great.
Came up with the left hand, too, on that block. Did you see that left hand come up? Now it was Archibald.
4-point game, Brent.
Back to Collins. Rick Roby will soon be checking in. Bird puts it down. Layup high. Loose. Lakers. Kareem off now quickly to Wilkes. The Lakers have responded here with a fine rally, and Jamal Wilkes has pulled them within 2 points, and the pressure is on the Celtics.
And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is really doing a job out there at both ends to bring the Lakers back. You got a timeout. The Boston Celtics 67, the Los Angeles Lakers 65.
The Dolphins and the Vikings did not make the Super Bowl, but their cheerleaders did. And that will be all part of the CBS Sports Spectacular on the day before the Super Bowl. Pittsburgh and Los Angeles coming your way on CBS. Here, the Celtics lead the Lakers by 2. Los Angeles was ahead only once, 2-0. Then it was tied, and the Celtics have led ever since. And in this period, LA has outscored Boston 14-5. Archibald missing the layup. The Lakers can tie it.
Wilkes and Abdul-Jabbar each have scored 6 here in this burst.
Nixon, and there was a whistle. He came in around Archibald, and Tiny hooked him. With Dave Collins watching, and the matchup shows that now Kareem has come on with 22 points to Collins 16, and even though Dave got a rebounding lead, it is now Kareem who has edged ahead by 1. So they will try Rick Roby, the muscular young man out of Kentucky, against Kareem. They will use Bird and Roby, Ford, Archibald, and Maxwell. Meanwhile, Magic Johnson is back, and the score is tied with 4:17 to go in the third period. And that tower of strength, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, did not let go of contact in this game. Archibald for the left corner. Beautiful block by Magic. Got a hand on it. His best play of the game, and it could not have come at a better time. Roby might have had an easy layup.
Never protected the ball. Magic got the hand inside. We got a foul.
against Ford, who was working against Johnson.
Well, look at it again. He turned his back, does this well, then accelerated to the free throw line. Ford riding him all the way, got the foul. That is the 4th team foul against Boston. And one more, and they're in the penalty.
Jones pumps twice, comes up on Maxwell. And the Los Angeles Lakers have gone ahead for the first time since it was 2-0.
There's a big lineup in there. Jones 6'11", Kareem at 7'2". They could really go to the work on the boards with Cowens out of there.
Away, and here they come. Magic Johnson in the middle. The Celtics have suddenly started turning it over. Magic missed, wanted the foul. Now it's Maxwell back down. Knocked away by Nixon, away from Archibald. On the cut, and Paul Westhead and Bill Fitch are both antsy over this one. Here comes M.L. Carr checking in with Maxwell going out for Fitch. Number 30 is Carr. He will throw the inbounds pass for the Celts, who remember have lost only one game in the Boston Garden. It's a three-point attempt. Jabbar now goes to Magic.
Might mention, Brent, that from the corners is 22 feet for that shot, 23.9 out at the top of the lane.
Score it. It's a continuation basket. It counts, and yet he was fouled.
Take a look again. Nixon coming down, whips the ball over to the left side. Now watch Big Jim go across the lane. Bird reaches in. Jones continues by him and softly put the hook down. Nice play. Beautiful shot by Big Jim Jones. Lakers have their biggest lead.
Is changing positions on the floor with Nixon, with Jones at the free throw line. And the Lakers leading the Celtics 71-67, make it 72-67, and it has been a marvelous comeback.
If Jones plays well, the Lakers, I think, are going to be in any ball game because Kareem is always going to be there. And if he gets help from the big guy, they're unstoppable.
Roby with the left hand, short, Nixon. Jamal Wilkes from deep in the left corner. And Bill Fitch asks for still another timeout. And what at one time appeared to be a Celtic cakewalk has taken a complete reversal. And it is the Lakers who are ahead 74-67.
Here's a play a moment ago. Nixon behind the back dribble with a right hand, right through traffic, then slowed it down, moved the ball outside of Jones. He'll in turn go in the corner to Wilkes, and he'll jump it smooth as silk right through the net. And the Lakers have the 74-67 lead with 2:33 remaining, and we're in the third quarter. What a comeback.
Wilkes with 17 points behind Abdul-Jabbar's 22. Jones has tossed in 11. Norm Nixon with 8 points. As far as the Celtics are concerned, Dave Cowens with 16 and Larry Bird with 12. And you would think now that the man they're going to have to get into the offense before this game is over is Bird, who was 6 of 6 in that first half.
I might mention in this quarter, the Celtics have made only 2 out of 22 shots. The Lakers are 10 out of 15.
Fists of steel, iron, or whatever you want to call them. Roberto Duran coming up, and of course Sugar Ray Leonard. No doubt we'll be watching that action later today on CBS. What a brawl that'd be. Duran and Leonard. Somebody just told me it's not iron, it's not steel, it's not stainless steel, it's stone. 2 minutes and 33 seconds to go in the third period. 74-67. Lakers over the Celtics. Magic Johnson, who did not start the second half, playing with a painful groin injury, back on the floor now in the backcourt with Nixon. And the sellout crowd tries to rally the Celtics, and Archibald goes high with an inside move.
That's a super play, and here they stepped over the line on the inbound pass. That's a big, big play because the Boston Celtics had stopped the momentum with a drive by Archibald. Now they'll get the ball back. We'll look at it again. Here's the inbound pass. Jones right there, stepped on the line, and the referee got it.
Carr goes back to Roby. Still a lot of time, 13 seconds. And again, it's Tiny to the penetration. Carr did not have good shooting position. Lakers control.
I have to think that Kareem's been the big difference thus far, Brad. He's really kept the cool for the Lakers out there.
Off now to Archibald in the middle. Down the baseline, Rick Roby. It's a three-point Laker lead. Spencer Haywood soon will check in. 7 on the shot clock. Bird's rebound and a bad pass. Kareem all alone left side. Loose, Johnson. Inside of a minute, third period.
Now again, look for Kareem. Roby doing everything he can to front him. And he'll get help from Chris Ford. Right there.
Knocked away by Ford, but he fouled Abdul-Jabbar as he came around with the Celtics in the penalty.
So I watch Kareem in front. Here's the shot from behind Roby. Behind now, Ford comes up from the right side. Blindsided, he knocked the ball away, but got him on the arm. So we're in a penalty, and the big fella who does it at both ends will be at the line.
Offensively, the only man probably in the history of this game who can compare with Kareem has to be Wilt Chamberlain.
Boston should look for a quick shot here. They got 45 seconds. That would assure them of getting the ball back before the end of the third quarter. Figuring the 24-second clock will play.
Upper right-hand corner. It counts down here in the third period. Archibald with a spinner. Roby battling for a rebound. Left hand. Bird comes crashing across. Lakers control. Quickly to Jones. Score at Lakers 77-71. Last shot time.
Three-pointer by Ford.
77-74 on the three-pointer, and the third period is over. The money period is still to come, and I don't have to tell you which sport features the best endings of them all, the NBA.
This has brought the excitement to the NBA. The three-point play. Chris Ford lets it fly, and he brings the Celtics back to within 3. 77-74 LA.
And Ford has hit 12 in a row as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar will not start the final period. But when he returns, he will finish up. Dave Cowens, meanwhile, will open this period. Go back on Chris Ford. 24 of his last 25 games, he has hit a three-point shot. 12 games in a row. Haywood with a bad pass right to Collins, and here's Henderson. Cross to Chris Ford. Blocked beautifully by Cooper, and hustling Rick Roby. Runs it down. Wanted Collins, who saved it. Just short. Hayward. And here comes Wilkes. The pace is furious as Haywood rams it in.
Spencer doing a good job of getting down court on the offensive end after making the defensive play.
Carr inside, reverse layup. 79-76. Lakers up by 3.
But what a great game.
Nixon runs it down. It goes over.
Found the Miller with the left hand and try to go to the baseline. We'll look at it again. Nixon, the little guy everywhere, only 6'2", grabbed the ball. You watch him turn it with the left hand. Right there, he lost control. Boston ball. They're down by 3.
Ford.
He spotted Haywood coming to him, and he put it up just a little bit higher than he normally would. Beautiful touch and dropped it right through.
Pulling the Celtics to within 1. 10 minutes and 25 seconds. Jones will come up. Roby to Henderson. Collins breaking behind. Cooper. On the miss, it's Roby and a jump ball.
That's a good call there to keep the tempers cool. Good quick call by Jack Madden. Here's Cooper driving it baseline right side. Ford right with him, and he laid it up, knocked down by Cowens, and then Roby picked it up, and he, along with Wilkes, tie it up. They'll jump. And again, you look at the block by Cowens.
Jones controls. Magic Johnson slows it up.
They have played at this pace throughout this game. Been tremendous.
Haywood from the corner. 7 on the shot. Bad shot. Collins off to Ford. Celts lead it by a point. Roby is met at the summit by Jones, and it's a jump ball.
Boy, that's a great block. I mean, Roby went with authority. Look at it again. Here he comes from the left side. Powers in. He wanted to dunk it, and the big guy went up and knocked it down. They'll jump. Jones and Roby. Another look. Right here, he stepped in. Excellent timing.
Loose ball foul is called against Rick Roby, and Abdul-Jabbar watching from Paul Westhead's bench. Lakers are down by a point.
They want a
9 minutes and 18 seconds. Now the timeout is called. Westhead will bring them over.
The reason they want the timeout, I think they're going to bring Kareem back any moment here, but they want to get the ball. They want to settle them down. We got 9:12 left. Boston 80, Lakers 79.
Some other scores: Philadelphia trailing the Celtics by a game, leading the Knicks 192, but it's close, isn't it? And now Houston and Milwaukee are tied in the 4th, 107 all in that game. Bill Fitch and Paul Westhead will now work against each other down the stretch. There are occasions during the long 82-game schedule when one game seems to take on an added significance, when you feel a playoff fever. This is one of those occasions in the Boston Garden.
They're really boxed in on that play. M.L. Carr doing a good job against Jamal Wilkes. Incidentally, Brent, in that 3rd quarter, the Lakers outscored Boston 26-12. The 12 points is the lowest quarter of the year for Boston. Credit the Lakers with excellent defense.
Jones fouled Ford before the shot.
Here's the move. He faked that outside shot. What a quick move, 6'5", and Jones reached in to get the foul.
The Celtics lead the Lakers 80-79 with 8 minutes and 50 seconds left in regulation time. Henderson, short. Cooper.
Fouls will be important here. Both clubs have only one here in the 4th quarter. 8.5 minutes left in the game.
Lakers shooting for the lead, and their big man is still resting.
Posting Magic up down low, but he's getting help from Roby.
Smooth as silk has put Los Angeles ahead, 81-80.
There's Mr. Bird. Lakers back up, 81-80.
Ford comes around the horn. Henderson, he's missed his last 2 shots. Roby with an offensive rebound, and now it's the Celtics.
Notice how they set the double screen away, then Wilkes breaks high.
Jones. Back to the Lakers. Seesaw time in the Boston Garden. 7 minutes and 35 seconds. Dishes to Roby, and he's met by Jones and fouled by Jim.
Even though Roby made his move a little delayed, he still got there in time to get the ball and put it up to draw the foul. Excellent penetration by Henderson down the middle, hesitated in the air, then dropped it to Roby coming baseline left, and he smartly went into Jones. Even though he'd been blocked before, he tried it again, and this time drew the foul. So Roby will have 2 free throws. Doing another good job backing up in that middle, and at the same time playing with Cowens. He's been instrumental.
Tied.
That's a lot of beef up front, Roby and Cowens, what they lack in height.
Off Kareem's hands. Henderson shoots it into Carr. Swing forward. Moves to the left.
He got blocked by Kareem, and he pulled it down. What a play.
And a backcourt foul. There will be 2 shots coming up. M.L. Carr in the backcourt, and that is his 4th personal foul.
That's a super move by Kareem. Just coming off the bench. Hadn't really loosened up yet. We'll watch it defensively as Ford went down the middle. Kareem skied up defensively and knocked it down, then caught the ball and was fouled by Carr in the backcourt. So Kareem will be at the line.
Lakers lead.
3 team fouls on the Lakers, 2 against Boston. 7 minutes and 18 seconds to play in the game.
85-83. Bird still watching from Fitch's bench. Henderson loses, regains. Cowens sends it out to M.L. Carr. Tied.
Well, Fitch is really involved in this one emotionally. Both coaches. They've been off that bench, Brent, more than they've been on it.
Sky. Lakers again, and he's 4 points over his season average. He has been a tower of strength.
What's incredible, he hits that hook shot as well on the baseline as he does going across the middle. And you don't have that backboard up there to give you a good target when you're on the baseline.
Henderson ties it. He missed 2 in a row, but he stayed with his shot. Nixon.
Well, Henderson's played excellent game, doing a good job in relief for Boston.
Kareem comes up high, loose, taken down by Ford to Cowens. Intercepted by Cooper. The midcourt pass, not a good one. Kareem with the set.
So give Cooper the credit there. Defensively made the steal, brought it in, and then dished it off to Kareem facing the basket for the jump shot.
5 minutes and 40 seconds left in the Boston Garden. 90% of the time, the most entertaining 5 minutes in sports. Cowens.
I would have to say Cooper's been a catalyst here in this comeback at both ends.
Haywood. Their biggest lead, 91-87. Bill Fitch was unhappy that a foul was not called. So the Los Angeles Lakers, with their rookie injured, have drawn together. And now Fitch must regroup the Celtics. Mata's Bullets get a W today. And Larry Bird will be checking back in for the Celtics. The key statistic in this game right now, timeouts. Bill Fitch, by using that timeout, is now down to just 1. Paul Westhead and the Los Angeles Lakers now must coach themselves on the floor.
They need a hoop here badly, down by 4. Big play here.
Maxwell sends it to Bird. It'll go over.
Offensive foul. Charging. Maxwell overcommitted going on the baseline. And Fitch is really hot. after referee Ed Rush.
Token pressure by Archibald, meets the ball near the midcourt line as Nixon brings it up. Just trying to delay when they can get it into Kareem or somebody down low. Spencer holding it, shot clock to 9. One-on-one basketball is short. Archibald looks for the middle. Closed, and it's Bird driving inside on the runner, has pulled the Celtics to within 2.
He hit that identical shot early in the game. Awfully tough, but he penetrated well. Faked the man out of position and drove the baseline. Look inside there. Cowan's fronting.
Swings to the base. Bird battles for the rebound, and the Celtics can tie. Here's Maxwell. We're tied.
Basketball's back in B-Town. What a play. Brought them to their feet. Deadlocked at 91. We're inside 4 minutes. 3:52 left in the game.
Kareem and the Lakers are up by 2. 31 for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who has not played any better than he has here this afternoon.
We already got that left shoulder down when he went across the lane that time with authority to get the hook away.
Bird's turnaround. Wilkes tracks it down. And it's going against the Celtics as Jim Jones checks in. It is so loud in the Boston Garden that the players are having difficulty hearing the whistles.
Haywood's going out for the Lakers.
Technical foul has been called by Rush against Bill Fitch. And you have seen this come the last few minutes.
Well, the play before, he was after Rush, and he was very close to him when he was talking to him, and I'm sure he didn't like it at the time. Nixon makes the technical, and a big one it is, as the Lakers now have that 3-point lead. One thing to consider, Brent, when you get late in this game, they've got Chris Ford who can hit that three-pointer as he did earlier, and they may go to that type of offense. Look at that defense for Bird. Beautifully done.
5 on the shot. Double team with 4. Kareem is short, and Madden calls the foul inside. Bird negotiating position. Loose ball foul.
Inside with a high look. You look to Abdul-Jabbar. He'll fake turn, put the shot up. On inside, there was a foul called, and it went against the Celtics on the rebound play. A loose ball foul. Boston will give it up to the Lakers.
2 team fouls against the Lakers and 4 on the Celtics at the 2-minute and 57 mark. A 3-point Laker lead, and as the ball went into Kareem, Collins was assessed for the personal.
He didn't like it. Kareem was just fighting for his position, keeping Big Dave on his back. Cowens pleads his case to referee Eddie Rush. But the foul will go against Dave Cowens, and they're in the penalty. Kareem will have 1 plus the penalty for 2 free throws. Fierce competitor, Dave Cowens. And Kareem, who takes everything in easy stride and makes everything look easy, will be at the line.
The lead is now 4. 95-91, and Cowens still barking at Ed Rush. A 5-point Laker lead at the 2-minute and 52-second mark.
Defensively, they're playing Wilkes out front against Ford.
Ford. Cowens battling with Bird, but Kareem comes away. He was outmanned that time, but not outfought. Lakers taking some time out of the clock on this sequence. Wilkes.
They did there, Brett. They just moved 2 men down on each side low. One set the screen for the other. 2 men roll out, and it was Wilkes coming off the Jones screen to the right side, and he got the bucket. And another timeout.
That is the last one for the Boston Celtics. 98 100-91. The Lakers leading the Celtics. 2 minutes and 12 seconds. And it has been a stirring comeback by Los Angeles. That Fitch was instructing the Celtics, he would change up his defenses with hand signals. So they will look now to the sideline, and Paul Westhead reminding the Lakers to be patient, consider the clock. 2 minutes and 12 seconds. It's 98-91. It's a 7-point Laker lead.
Now Boston has scored only 29 points here in the second half. Their low in the year is 42 and a half.
Collins off the Archibald penetration. Two-minute warning sounded in the Boston Garden.
And old Dave Cowens has got his work cut out for him now. The Lakers invariably will go to Kareem in these type of situations. They'll hold it on the perimeter, and Kareem will work for position. There he is.
Got in behind Dave. Cowens off for the rebound. It's a 5-point Los Angeles lead. Time remaining. Whistle as Archibald came up. He was not shooting. We have another final score in, too, I understand. Detroit 107, Chicago 102. The Bulls trying to regroup.
That foul was against Nixon, so Boston keeps the ball.
Archibald had it knocked away, and this time Jones fouled him, and he was in the act of shooting. Spencer Haywood returns for Paul Westhead and the Lakers.
So it's a penalty situation. Archibald driving for the right side, and you see Jones reach in and get the foul. So Fitch now a little bit unhappy on the sidelines. It's 98-93. Lakers, minute 25 left, and Archibald will have 3 to make 2. These are big, big free throws here. You can pull it back to within 3, and then again you can figure on that outside jumper, Brent, at 3-point range if they need it.
So early in the game, the Boston Celtics took complete charge. They had a comfortable lead at halftime, and then in the second half, a combination of the Laker defense and the Celtics' poor shooting allowed Los Angeles to jump back in control. And Tiny Archibald, who normally is perfect, or at least nearly so at the free throw line, overcame some difficulties with the last one. And Archibald now pressuring Nixon, and the Lakers are up by 4 points with 1 minute and 19 seconds to go.
Those were big misses by Tiny. He's missed 5 free throws in this game. Now they're down by 4. Even a 3-point field goal would not put them back.
Loose, tracked up by Spencer. Got it back from Kareem, and again it's a loose ball, and here comes Emil Carr, and there was a foul.
24-second clock expired. That's all it is. Boston will have the ball. The Celtics, I believe, were complaining.
The Celtics are up complaining about this.
Kareem thinks it's the Lakers' ball. It's not. He's all the way down at the other end. The Celtics are complaining because they had momentum. They had the ball, and they thought that they had possession before the 24-second clock, and now they've stopped them.
I did not even hear the 24-second clock go off. When Ed Rush sounded his whistle, I thought Carr was fouled. Here's Fitch vehemently arguing.
What they're trying to figure out is, did it or did it not go off? The referee made the signal that the 24-second clock had expired. 59 seconds on the game clock.
And, of course, each second they ran off before that ball was brought out of bounds can hurt the Celtics, too.
That was the call.
Back to Collins. It's a 2-point game. Los Angeles over Boston, 98-96 in 49 seconds in regulation. 49 seconds in regulation. Nixon under pressure. They cannot run it out. And now, can they get the ball to Kareem? Collins is on the front.
They do not want a foul here. Both clubs are in a penalty, Brent. Free throws would be taken.
Shot clock inside of 7. 5, 4, 3. Up. No good. Bird with the ball in 27 seconds. Celtics can tie it. Here comes Maxwell. Inside tie. Tie game with 21 seconds. The Celtics have tied the Lakers. And we've got a timeout. Los Angeles.
Incredible shot by Maxwell. Drives the left side. Went right by Nixon. Put it up with the right hand with English off the glass over the outstretched hand. And it goes in for a basket. That tied it up. We'll look at it again. From the high angle, Bird to Maxwell. He drives. Lays it up. As Haywood and Cooper were there, and the basket went in.
They were lucky that a foul was not called on Nixon as he went to cut Maxwell off there on the baseline.
Absolutely. Boy, what a game. 21 seconds. Now the Lakers can use the full 21. Full 21 with the score time. They've got the penalty free throw situation going for them. If they draw a foul, they'll get 2 free throws.
They won't necessarily go to Jabbar. They line up.
Reminding the Celtics that they might not go to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And you could hear Paul Westhead explaining one of the options. And that option, of course, is the little guard in this situation coming down, Norm Nixon, and taking a shot. 21 seconds to go in regulation time. We are tied at 98. The Celtics will pressure the ball. They will try to keep the offense out high, away from Kareem. Now the clock has started. We're inside of 20 seconds. Nixon, they're going to bring it down for the last shot. They're not going to give the Celtics the ball back. They're going to shoot for the win or go to overtime. That's why he's taking his time. Now with 6 seconds, he starts to the attack. Nixon coming up.
It's a one-shot foul, not in the act of shooting. It is a foul. And there'll be 2 free throws, 1 plus the penalty, not 3 to make 2. So Norm Nixon will be at the line. 3 seconds left. That's a good call. He was fouled on the play as he went up. Nixon. Boy, these are pressure free throws. Boston, here's where that timeout you're talking about, Britt's going to hurt them. They're going to have to bring the ball in the length of the court without a timeout. Had they won left, they could have called it and advanced the ball to midcourt. They have lost that advantage, and perhaps the game with it.
99-98 on that free throw. 3 seconds to go. The Lakers will pressure the ball. A 2-point lead. 3 seconds for the tie. No timeout. Must hurry. 2 seconds. They got it all. It'll be Collins. No good. It's over.
The basket would have counted.
Has won the game. The Lakers have come back to beat the Boston Celtics for only the 2nd time in the Boston Garden on the strength of 2 free throws by Norm Nixon, 198.
And what a finish, Brent. Had Dave Cowan's field goal gone at the buzzer, it would have counted, and it would have tied the score. Incredible game.
So our crew that enjoyed this one thoroughly, the executive producer, Charles Milton III,